So on the question on how much profit you can make in terms of your investment into Lentor Central residences, so whenever we want to determine how much profit we can earn from a project, what we have to do is that we need to compare Lentor Central with other new developments in Lentor, as well as to compare Lentor Central with the resale developments nearby. So if we are looking at the different new developments in Lentor, such as Lentor Hills, Lentor Mansion, Lentoria, Hillock Green, right? What we do know at this point in time is that the transacted prices in this project, take for example for a 2-bed, 2-bath, it's up to 1.76 mil. And Lentor Central Residences, on the other hand, is starting from only 1.38 mil. So then, as an investor, the difference between our entry price as well as our neighboring transacted price will be our margin of safety. So from here, you can see that in terms of the safety of margin wise, it's quite significant. And if we were to look at the resale developments nearby, the closest comparison we will always compare to will be Panorama. So if we look at this project, the prices of 2-bed, 2-bath in the project are already transacting at a similar price, if not higher, than Lentor Central. And when Lentor Central TOP, this project Panorama would have been 11-year-old. So when these two projects are being put side by side, Lentor Central will definitely be valued higher as compared to Panorama, which is more than a decade old. So other resale development that we commonly compare to for Lentor Central would be Jadescape. So if we were to look into the caveats of Jadescape, we will know that, let's say for a 2-bed, 2-bath, the project is already transacting at 1.6 to 1.7 mil. So in terms of price difference from Lentor Central, it's about 2 to 300k in price difference. That again will form your safety of margin.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Rise Realty on Namang Go-To Real Estate channel. Today, we did a bit of arrangement with the sitting area.
Let's try.
Okay, sure. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, today we'll be talking about Aurea. So what's a very interesting project? Anyway, CCR project, District 7. It's one of its kind. So how so? It's because it's going to be two portions of it. The Golden Mile, a revamp of Golden Mile, and Aurea. Okay, so Golden Mile, as we all know, Golden Mile is a historical building. It's a landmark. What the developers will be doing is that they will revamp the entire area. Instead of tearing down the entire Golden Mile, they were just gonna revamp the structure walls, conserve the whole building itself, and build up 4 additional levels on top of Golden Mile. So what this means, the Golden Mile itself will have medical suites, retail, commercial, and offices. So currently right now it is for sale and for lease soon. Actually not much news on the lease lah. But anyone who is interested, please, this is a golden opportunity for you guys to come by. Other than that, the location, it's actually facing the whole Kallang area. And then in terms of MRT station, we are actually in very close proximity to Nicole Highway and Lavender. Okay, so on top of that, the residential portion, 188 units, 45 stories high, 2 bedrooms, all the way to 5 bedrooms, even a triple floor penthouse. Alright, so for this, I would say absolutely stunning. For level 3, 17 and 33, 3 you have a swimming pool, level 17 is where you have a working space dining area. Then for 33 is like an infinity pool. So we don't need to go Marina Bay Sands anymore. Here is like your own area lah. But I think a bit more for the audience, ladies, is like the developers is actually a joint project between Perennial and Far East. So what do we know about Perennial?
I think my first impression of Perennial is, if I can use a word to describe it, will be expensive. Because if we were to look at the past project of Perennial, they are the developer who developed Eden Residences, Capital. They are also the developer that developed Chimes. Yeah. And of course, the most recent project is Skywaters.
Skywaters is a project not many people know. Also, cause if you don't know means you don't need to know. Only the
Those
really
who know.
those who know. If you don't know how about Sky Waters means you're not the audience that they're looking for. Let's put it that way. Then on top of that, I think Perennial also has a bit of working relationships with Alibaba. How does it work, Shah, for Perennial?
As in, they were just working partners for Sky Waters. Yeah, which is going to be the next tallest building in Singapore. Currently, it's Woolwich, ma.
Correct. Yes.
Right.
So we do know the back end of the developers very strong lah. Then of course Far East, they've done multiple projects.
But I think one of the things that I want to point out is that Perennial actually, their portfolio consists of not just real estate, but actually a lot of medical hubs all around Southeast Asia. So I think that's why there's this medical suite portion in Golden Mile as well. So I think this would be quite a game changer overall for this development.
Okay, so we bring out to this project. My personal thought, it's a one of its kind because we always tend to compare projects like Lentor. We just compare, for example, Mentor and Mansion. Modern and Mansion. And then for the west side, it's always Sora Lake Garden. So there's always something to compare. But for Aurea, it's one of its kind. I cannot compare to a District 1, District 2 or 9, 10, 11 project. I cannot compare to a 7 project, District 7, District 6 project, because there isn't something that has this much historical value with such an amazing view. My personal take. So this is the selling point about Aurea. But the next thing that comes in is, ladies, for this project, we have 2 bedrooms, level 4 onwards, all the way to level 32. But for now, what's available is from 4 to 16, right? So as an investor, when we come into this area, you realize that the one with the main views, right, facing the Kallang area is actually the 4, 5 bedrooms. So your 2, 3 bedrooms will be facing the opposite, the city side. Now, as an investor, how does this affect your decision? Do you think it should be something of a concern for investors looking to enter into Aurea?
So if we are, from Jason's question, you're asking from an investment standpoint, right? So if you are looking at 2-3 bedder, maybe to set the stage right, in terms of the price, developer have already released their starting price at 1.92 mil onwards, and in terms of PSF, we are looking at 2009 per square feet, from 2,700 all the way to even 3,000 per square feet. That's in terms of price. So as an investment piece, Aurea is something that is surprising to me in terms of the price, because before Aurea was launched, in fact maybe a year before, we always thought that Aurea will be launched at a price that is crazy high. Yeah, so to me that's a sweet surprise in that sense. And if we are talking about investment, we are always talking about how safe it is in terms of price. So if we are looking at, if we are assessing safety within the district, right, which is District 7, the closest comparison we can look at is Midtown Modern. So if we look at the transaction of Midtown Modern, it is transacting at an average of 3,400, and with the highest record of 4,700 per square feet. So if we are comparing Midtown Modern with Aurea, the price discrepancy is there for the investors. So if we are talking about comparing Aurea with older resale developments, right? Because let's say if you're an investor, you are also open to resale development, what's nearby? I think the closest that I can see would be South Beach Residences, Eden Residences. And how much are they transacting? They are transacting at an average of 3,500 for South Beach, and Eden at 3,500. So to me, in terms of safety within the district, it's there.
Try anything?
I think that, okay, actually I want to go, so number one is, I think that the price point, this is starting price, this is their indicative. I do think it's quite surprising. Yeah, because before they actually gave out the indicative, we will always ask each other, how do you think the Golden Mile will price, or that, because based on what we see from the performance of Ori, and even EOK, all those, you can see that we are hitting all-time highs in those districts specifically.
At 3,000, right?
Correct.
For Ori.
Correct. And then for here, we are in the CBD area. We have a great view. We are so near to the Circle Line, and accessibility to everything, it's right there. Like within a 500-meter radius, you have everything. And then we have such strong developers that's working on this as well. Right, so to start from 2,750, I think is quite it's quite a bargain lah, I would say. If you really get it, then I mean, if you have the opportunity, you should get it. But aside from that, also of course, do you talk about like the view or something like that you're not gonna get? Okay, yeah, sorry. So to me, right, of course, aside from what Amanda has been comparing with, I think that's one that's even much closer by, called Concourse Skyline. Yeah, okay, I just want to bring that. Yeah, okay, so this project, right, it's, to me, this is probably the closest that anyone can ever compare to. Okay, and if I look at the layout types and what the facing are, right, to be honest, it's not going to even be a competition. Yeah, because my 1-2 bedrooms are also facing the city side compared to. So I also still need to have big units to face the water area. In fact, I need the 4-5 bedrooms. But else for the 3 bedrooms, I already kind of get the stadium side where there is like the waters that I'm already looking at. So to me, if this is an investment point of view, your tenants are not going to get much option just within this 500-meter radius. Not to say that they're going to get like a nice sea view. If they want like a 1-bedroom, they still have to go up to the bigger ones. Yeah, so I think for investment here, as long as the price point is correct, this is something that investors should look at as well.
Actually, I also agree with both you. The 2-3 bedrooms, right? I would feel for investors, right? It's not facing the main sea view, but also because it doesn't have to. Because if you are facing the main sea view, then the developers wouldn't price you fairly or even lower lah. And then you'll be entering at a very high PSF. But the fundamentals of an investor is always to enter the benchmark, right? So they also priced it for level 2, level 3. I think what's more important is the maintenance fees, which honestly is quite surprising, right? So the 2-3 bedrooms, it's $432 per month. So comparing to a few projects before, Norwood Grand 2-bedroom, I think it was $450, right? Then Cassia also, Parktown also, 2 bedrooms, $432. For here, if you can get the same maintenance fee in this area and you are beside the Golden Mile, I think it's a very good. It's very attractive for investors, frankly speaking. So I do see I would do see the 3 bedrooms to move fastest if it's me. Alright, so next question for y'all is, this is a bit like One Sophia. How so is because there is a bit of a stigma. So we brought our clients. Then one thing to point out is that is there still a stigma? Because now, last time when we think about Golden Mile, we think about a few things lah. Okay, think about Golden Mile, we think about Mookata, we think about the pubs, the discos. Then we think about Beach Road, we just think about army items, because that's where all the items is ma. So this area suddenly becomes I would consider the luxury segment condo. Like, do you think this district can still accept such a product given its old records or impression?
I feel that, okay, to be honest, I feel that this stigma would stay for a while. Yeah, because this is really this is a icon project since the 1970s, I think. So in everybody's head, right, which generation you're at, right, you're gonna see the very old Golden Mile. You are so used to seeing it, right? So I think that this stigma will stay all the way until we really physically see that product come alive. That's why for most investors, of course, for us, we are always looking at what's the potential and the future outcome of this project, right? So of course, I believe that, what do I want to say? I think that was so blurry.
You believe that the stigma will always be there for a while?
Yeah, it will be there for a while, but we have to remember that actually if we look at the master plan, within the next 10 years, right, the government is pouring in so much money into the Marina South area, the Kallang Water Basin, the Kampong Bugis area. So much will change, and gradually over time, give it like 10 years or so, I believe that this stigma would start to fade off already. Actually, gradually 5 years like that. Actually, once the thing is up, it's people will be like, oh my god, it's so nice. It's so different. Yeah.
Okay, so we talk. Anything from you, Amanda?
I think for me, I also have to be very honest that when I first heard about the project, I myself was, I felt that, like how can they reposition themselves into a luxury development? So when I went in to view the show flat during the Asian preview, I went in with zero expectation, only to come out realizing that wow, it's actually a very amazing project. Yeah, I think you have to see for yourself. Once you enter the show flat, you know what I mean. That you suddenly forget what this place used to be. Yeah, that's for me lah.
Okay, for me I mean,
honestly, it'll be a bit difficult lah because they are actually keeping the key components of what makes Golden Mile old in the first place. It's the circle thing. They are retaining that look. So this is the circle thing that everybody remembers in the old Golden Mile. So if you're gonna keep it inside there.
But I also do feel okay. So very interesting is they got the exact contractors that first did Golden Mile.
The architects,
correct. DP architect who first did this project of Golden Mile, right? The one that we grew up with, and then they are using them again to redevelop the entire area. So I thought that in terms of the historical value, there is a lot of emotions, and as what Christians say, there's a lot of soul in this building, which I also do see that fact. Okay, but moving on, maybe specifically towards, I have a very love and hate relationship with the 3-bedroom. Okay, so we zoom into the 3-bedroom floor plan. 3-bedroom, right? I thought that even though it's facing the city side, okay, also the 2 3-bedrooms all don't come with balcony. Okay, so the 3 bedrooms is actually facing the city side, but what it includes is that at the far end of the living room, you get to see that view as well. So even though you're not the 4 or 5 bedroom entering at such a premium stage, at the 3 bedroom, you still can see the corner, you can see the National Stadium. That's what they always say, you can hear Taylor Swift singing over there. I thought that this floor plan, because of that view, is quite amazing for its entry price. But also I look at the floor plan, then I see the position of the master. It just feels too close to the living room for me. And then of course when I'm entering a 3-bedroom, I would want ventilation in my bathrooms lah. I mean like a window ventilation. But also for this 3-bedroom, I also don't have for my bathroom. So that's why I say 3-bedroom is a love and hate. Right? For you ladies, which is the floor plan that you personally would consider given time and space for you guys?
Of course, it's the 4 lah.
Yeah, you cannot ask
Okay, let's see the 4. Why? What about the 4?
I think just the very basic fundamental is I kind of got used to liking balcony space because I feel like nowadays our house are all very small. So if I don't have like an open area, I feel very claustrophobic. But that is just a personal choice. At the end of the day, when you're buying in, like for example, you buy the 2-bedroom, the 3 bedrooms here, you are getting actually full. You're paying for full livable space. So that's a that's an advantage as well. But just personal preference, of course, here no choice. The smallest I can get to get a balcony is the 4, so I'll definitely go with a 4.
The 4, you mean the biggest 4 lah, right? The one with the landscape living, because there are a few variations of the 4-bedroom.
Of course, if I can afford, then
the biggest lah. Amanda, yours also 4, huh?
Yeah, it would be 4, but not so much because of the balcony for me. For me was, if I'm going to stay in that unit, right, I need to minimally have like a WC and bomb shelter, which the 3-bedroom does not have.
Correct.
I think a 3-bedroom would be perfect for, let's say, a couple, without anyone else in the family. But let's say if you have a child or if you have a helper, then my question is, where am I going to put my helper? Yeah, so if possible, I think 4-bedroom would have been the sweet spot.
But do you see yourself earning a profit?
For which one?
I should ask the question. Okay.
No.
Okay. So next segment is, I think, last question lah, guys. So people always have a stigma that once you enter CCR, then there is no room for growth. There isn't going to be a capital appreciation. I think mainly because concerns is also projects like OUE, projects like Cascaden, Sentosa, they haven't been the most profitable transactions. This year it will be a big change for CCR projects. So what do you think the public can understand more? Is it really you buy into CCR means you really toh?
I think when you just look at Orchard itself, then you look at the numbers, and sometimes it doesn't make sense, right? But if you look at the bigger picture of how come our CCR lagged behind, especially the past few years, I think that one of the key things that the government wanted to do starting from 10 years ago was to redistribute the wealth, right? They wanted to segregate. They just wanted to neutralize the whole map, right? So that it controls the pricing in a more stable manner as well. And then I think that they did it so successful lah. They did it so well that our Toa Payoh, our Jadescape can have a $10 million penthouse being sold there. We have Jurong hubs, we have Paya Lebar and all that. So everything is so equally spread out that back then people who buy, because that's where the rich was supposed to add, they start to lose out a little bit. Right? They start to, I wouldn't say they lose entirely, but I think their growth was much slower compared to our outskirts. Right? So it's a bit of a sad thing lah for the previous buyers in the CCR, especially if you're talking about like the CBD, the MBFC area. Right? Nothing has really been transforming in the area because the government was so focused on the outskirts.
Yes.
Right? But if we look now at the master plan, like I mentioned, actually a lot of the changes are going to come right in the Golden Mile area, surrounding the Golden Mile area, Marina South and all that. So and Marina South is going to have a township. Basically like a more atas Lentor. Right, it's going to have a new township already. So if people are, if you can see what the government is doing with Lentor, right, they will do the same for Marina. Just at a different price quantum altogether lah. So I think this one, if you as an investor, you have the holding power, this is something that I think will do fairly well on a long-term basis. Yeah, because of course then again, I mean, this is Golden Mile, it does come with a bit of an emotional aspect as well, the lifestyle and all that. Yeah, so but I think in the long run, I think this project will do okay, no problem.
Okay, Amanda, what do you think? CCR, is it really buy already won't earn?
I think that stigma comes from maybe many years back. Maybe that is the truth because even pre-COVID, right, CCR prices, people say that, you won't earn money. That's also because CCR prices was at the ceiling. But I think times have changed where RCR or even OCR prices are catching up with CCR prices. And that's when I realized that all the more CCR should be the area that as investor or even as own stayer, it should be the area that if you are wise, you should be looking into. Yeah, one thing that stood out to me on why we should be looking into CCR is also because if we look at the past launches in the past 5 years, most of the new launches come from the OCR and RCR. And for CCR, only 15% makes up the entire new launch supply. So what this means to someone that will be buying into CCR and eventually exiting in a few years, it means that in terms of competition, I will not be that afraid as compared to my OCR and RCR counterparts. Yeah. So, and the fact that CCR and RCR prices are so close, it makes sense to go into CCR because the truth of the matter is that when you strip everything out, when we are looking at just the bare land of Ori, when we are looking at the bare land of Aurea, we know we don't need a genius to tell you that the value of Aurea is definitely much higher than Ori. And why you laugh? I mean,
it's true.
That's true. And it's like if I'm buying it at a similar price, it's why not? And to be fair, a lot of us at some point in our life, we had wanted to stay in CCR. And the reason why we are not staying in CCR is likely because we manage our expectation along the way. We realize that, perhaps we might need to move to RCR or OCR first. But this is a very strange phenomenon where, you get to buy into CCR price at RCR. I mean, you get to buy into CCR at RCR price. Yeah.
Potentially, because what we're seeing now
Starting
is
from,
indicated.
yeah.
Correct.
But even if it's at 3,000, I think it's still very reasonable.
Of course, because that's what Ori rent for 3,000.
Yeah.
Correct.
EOK 2009. Okay, so I also feel that this year is very exciting. Start of the year, I didn't thought it was, but now I think it is.
We were so wrong.
Yeah, we were so wrong. I also feel so. This year, a lot of strong contenders, because as we all know, majority will be the CCR, RCR. We got places like Marina Gardens, we got places like River Valley, Holland Drive, Zion A and B, even for Margaret Drive. I feel this year, the central of the Singapore's the launches, right, it's going to be very exciting, very, very exciting. And all these are by big developers, right? So I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to it, Okay. Then maybe last question, ladies, as we. Oh, anything else? Any conclusion? Anything you want to bring up?
You do just fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Percentage. Okay. In 3, 2, 1. 30.
28. Huh?
28, 30?
20.
20, 20, 30. I explain why I go first. Honestly, because there's nothing to compare to. This project is very different. There isn't like a nearby project that has the exact same characteristics. They're not releasing every unit. A lot of them are betting on the starting from prices. I don't know on that day how are the developers going to price their loading or different view.
In fact, developer has already released
Release what?
the
Per loading. How much per loading?
18,000 for 3-bedder.
18K per loading lah.
2-bedder is like 8K.
Wow, 2K.
To be honest, these numbers are cheaper than the per loading in
in some
a lot of
projects.
project. Yeah.
I would say if level 2 is 8K per jump, I think it makes the 2 bedrooms very attractive. I would say 3 bedroom.
Actually, I think a lot of the 2 bedrooms will move.
Yeah.
It's the 3 bedrooms, because those are like
Own stayer.
Yeah, own stayers already. Then if they want like the balcony, then they only got 4.
Yeah. So I feel because of that I would say 30%. Okay, how Shah, Amanda, how come 2028?
Yeah, as in like just based on the breakdown, I think that the per loading for the 2 bedrooms is very attractive. So the 2 bedrooms I believe will move very quickly, but at the same time they're not releasing all of the 2 bedrooms also. So then the other portion is my 3 bedrooms. With 3 bedrooms, I do foresee, because the sizes are quite at a sweet spot to a lot of the local demographic. Yeah, but the thing is that if for those of them who are buying for own stay, they would definitely try their best to go higher because of a better view. Right, so that also limits the number of buyers that will buy into a low for 3 bedroom without balcony. And some people also want balcony, that kind of thing. So that's why I put my prediction a little bit lower.
Okay, Amanda?
28, because I feel that in terms of if they're only releasing half, I would think that they might only sell half of what they have released. Like what Charlene mentioned, if I look at the 2-bedder and the 3-bedder, the price discrepancy is quite huge at 1 million. Because the 2-bedder we are looking at 1.95 onwards, 1.92 onwards, and the 3-bedder is 2.86 onwards. So a big bulk will come from the 2-bedder. Yeah.
Okay. Fair. I think Aurea is an interesting project.
It's a nice project.
It's a very interesting project.
And
it's along Nicole Highway.
I really like it, and I didn't know that I would like it.
The view is quite amazing. Okay, but other than that, ladies and gentlemen, that comes to the end of our podcast. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, if you guys have any comments or you have any questions, please reach out to us through our details. It's in the description. Our WhatsApp contact, our social handles are there. On top of that, if you guys have a question, leave it at the comment section as well, and we will get back to you guys as soon as possible. Other than that, ladies, that's alright. Okay, so thank you all. See you at the next episode. Bye bye.